Assalamu alaikum everyone, how are you doing my students? This is my first tutorial on the internet to solve past paper question, biology 610 for my dear students in grade 10 IGCSE. As you can see that we are gonna cover October-November 2019, paper 4. Let's proceed. The first question reads that figure 1.1 is a diagram of a molecule of fat. First part, list the chemical element present in fat. He is asking about the elements that make up fats. He is not asking about the building units, which is a completely different question. If he asks about the building units, they are fatty acids and glycerol. But about the elements that make up fats, they are the same ones which make carbohydrates. They are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Very good. State the smaller units that fats are made up of or made from. That's what I have just said. Now we are asking about fatty acids and glycerol. And if you are confused, all you need to do is have a look at the mark which is given to the question. In this part, I am given 2 marks, which means I'm asked for giving 2 facts, 2 pieces of information. And the first question, I gave 3 responses, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. And though the question is granted just 1 mark, if you miss any of the 3 of them, you will lose the whole mark. So it's all or none. Pay attention to this. State the name of 3 other components of any balanced diet. You know that the balanced diet is always made up of 7 components. They are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins, water, and fibers. So I can have many choices. I can write, for example, carbohydrates. I cannot write fats again because simply we already did talk about fats. But I can write proteins. This is okay. Only minerals is not enough. You need to mention a particular name of a mineral, like for example, you can write phosphates, you can write iron, minerals, and so on. There are many other responses that you can mention, like water, okay, like a particular vitamin name, it's okay, but those responses are more than enough, the ones I did mention. Next page. Mammoths and lynx are mammals. They can live in a variety of environments. The percentage of the fat in the bodies of these 2 species was measured. Measurements were taken from mammoths and lynx living in Alaska and in Virginia. Alaska is a cold environment and Virginia is a warm environment. The tables or the results are shown in the table 1.1. So I have on the vertical column mammoths and lynx, the 2 species we talk about. On the horizontal I have the percentage in the body in Alaska and in Virginia. And now we have the difference, 36 minus 5 equals 31 for mammoths. Okay. Complete the table 1.1 by calculating the difference in the percentage of fat in the body of the lynx. I will follow the same procedures. I will write 15 minus 11 equal what? Equal 4. That's why all you need to do is to write 4 right here. If I do the math and I forget about writing the correct answer on the table, does it matter? Yes, it is. You need to write the full answer on the table as he did and instruct you. Now we need to do the next question, which reads, describe the results shown on the table. Describe. And pay attention to the word describe. Mean you need to tell me facts from the table. Don't make any kind of comments or expectations. Okay? So again, I can make two types of comparisons. Either horizontal comparison, like mammoth does have less fat in Virginia than it in Alaska, or lynx does have more fats in Virginia, less fats in Virginia than it in Alaska. Okay? Or in one sentence I can say that mammoths and lynx do have less fat in Virginia than it in Alaska. This is a good sentence to start with. I need two proper sentences. So again, marmots and lynx, both of them, the two of them, have less fat in Virginia than it in Alaska. Very good. Or I can make a vertical comparison. Like in Alaska, mammoths do have more fats than lynx. Again, in Alaska, what happens there, that marmots have more fats than lynx. Very good. Choose to do the opposite. Like in Virginia, lynx has more fat or have more fat than marmots. Again, in Virginia, what happens? Lynx have more fats than mammoths. As you can see, that 11 is more than 5. Last part of this question is explain the difference in the percentage of fat in the body between the mammals living in Alaska and Virginia. So it's the comparison between Alaska and Virginia, not between the two animals. Okay? So we can say that both the two species animals are mammals. So what? So they regulate their body temperature How come? How do they regulate their body temperature? By having a thick layer of fat in Alaska and a thin one in Virginia. You need to explain this in more details. How? You can say that Virginia is hot weather, while Alaska is cold weather. It's a good sentence. Okay? So you can say more fats are needed in Alaska or less fats are needed in Virginia. It was the end of the first question. We will continue with the second shortly. Hello everyone and welcome back to question 2. 2a. Complete the definitions of the term adaptive features by filling in the gaps with the correct words. An adaptive feature is an or a is an inherited it's an inherited feature or trait that help an organism to do what? To survive and reproduce in its, you can say environment, you can say habitat. I prefer the word habitat. Anyways, the flagellum is one of the adaptive features of a sperm. A sample of a sperm was taken and the length of each flagellum was recorded. The figure shows the graph of the results. First of all, you need to understand that this is a histogram. It's not a bar chart. The x-axis is standing for the intervals, the different patterns of lengths. Okay? So this is the flagellum length in micrometer. And by the way, the micrometer is 1/1000 of 1 millimeter. The y-axis is standing for the frequency or how many times this length is repeated. We can say how many sperms of having this or that or this or that range of length or pattern of length. So state the most frequent range of the flagellum length. Again, state the most frequent length. So you can say that this is the tallest one. This is the tallest one and it's ranging between 4.4, 4.5. So the most repeated is ranging between 4.4 to 4.5. This is the range which is the most frequent. State the frequency of the sperm with the flagellum length between 4.8 to 4.9. By the way, right here we did forget to write the unit and this is a big mistake. This is micrometer. Shouldn't forget about the unit, micrometer. State the frequency of the sperm with the flagellum length between, which is ranging between 4.8, 4.9, which is that one, the one before the last. The one before the last. It's almost 9, halfway between 8 and 10. So this is supposed to be 9. Frequency is 9. Very good. State the type of variation shown by the flagellum. We did study 2 types of variation. One called continuous, one called discontinuous. This one is continuous. Where does this name come from? If you look at the data on the graph, you will see that the bars are attached to each other. There is no gap between bars. They are stuck to each other as one body. Okay? Which means that the data are continuous. When we have a histogram, this is continuous. It's affected by the genetic factors and the environment as well. One good example is your body mass and how tall you are. We should say some scientists have suggested that the longer the flagellum, the more likely the sperm is to fertilize the egg, mean to reach the egg and cause it to be fertilized. Suggest a reason why. Why do scientists think this is true? Because simply the taller the flagellum, the faster the sperm. Don't forget that the sperm does depend on the flagellum to swim and reach the egg. Make a sense that the taller the flagellum he does use, the faster, the easier, the more likely he does fertilize the egg. State the name of the organ that produces the sperm. These are testes as a plural or testis as singular. Thank you for watching this. We will proceed to question 3 shortly. Hello everyone. Now question 3a. Student investigated the conditions required for germination to happen. Seeds were placed on a cotton wool in a petri dish and exposed to different conditions. The conditions used as shown in the table. I have A, B, C, D means 1, 2, 3, 4 investigations and 4 different circumstances. 3 of them are at the same heat temperature. 1 is much lower. Okay. 3 of them are in damp. 1 of them is in the dry. Access to light, all of them except the last. Seeds in 2 of the petri dish did not germinate. Predict in which petri dish the seeds did not germinate and give reasons for your answers. I give you 1 minute to check. So the ones which did not germinate are B and C. The 2 of them did not germinate. Now we need to give reasons. Why? As you can see that B, for example, is too cold. Or you can say heat temperature is much below or less than optimal for growth. Don't forget that the process of growth needs some enzyme actions, and the enzymes need some kind of optimum heat temperature to be available. Heat temperature of 2 or 3 is much less than it. What about C? You can say that C is dry, and don't forget that water is needed for germination to happen. Why? In order to activate the enzymes. In another investigation, the germination ratio of the seeds was calculated. 60 crest seeds. What are crest seeds? What kind of seeds were used in the investigation? 20 seeds germinated and 40 seeds did not germinate. Calculate the ratio of the seeds that germinated. You can say 20 to 40, like 2 to 4, or 1 to 2. Very good. Plants need minerals or mineral ions for healthy growth. State why plants need both magnesium ions and nitrate ions. You can say that magnesium is needed to make chlorophyll. Should I say why chlorophyll, or should I explain why chlorophyll is important? It's the green substance in the leaves that does absorb sunlight, trap sunlight. Nitrates are used by the plants to make proteins. Very good. This is the end of the third question. Hopefully it was useful for you. We will proceed to the third question shortly. Hello, assalamu alaikum, and we come back to question 4. Part A, figure 4.1 is a graph showing the change to the thickness of the lining of the uterus during the menstrual cycle. Describe the change to the thickness of the lining of the uterus during the menstrual cycle in the figure 4.1. Need to have a look. I will see that I don't have any data on the y-axis, so I cannot use any kind of quota from here. But I will consider this level as the normal level because the graph is back to the same level after the change. Anyways, between the first day or day 1, you can say that did start at day 1, that the thickness start to drop dramatically until it reached the least level, which I don't know, it cannot be 0, but I can call this the least level. To which day 6, and then start to increase very fast until it did reach the highest level, and then it did level up, or I can say it did reach a plateau. Very good. So I can use all of this in order to describe the graph. I have a lot of data here, Okay, I can say that it did level up at the day 16 and continued the same level up to day 28 until the new cycle started. So what should I say? I should say that it decreased, and again I don't prefer to start with subjects like it, he, she. So let's say the wall of the uterus. What happened to him? Decreased and then increased again. Okay. I can use some data quotes from here, from the graph. And when I say it did decrease between day 1 and day 6 to reach the least thickness, okay, at day 6. Very good. And then increased again, okay, in order to retain its original thickness at day, which day? Let's have a look. Which day it's back to normal level? Okay, day 15. Almost day 15. Yes, it is. Very good. Day 15. What happened next? And then leveled up and continued same level between day 15 and day 28. This is a full answer, which is worthy to grant full mark. State the day shown on the figure on which the lining of the uterus is broken down. Is broken down means started to break down and lost, okay? Or the interval in which the wall was broken down or proceeded to break down. It was between the first day and the 6th day. Between the first day and the 6th day. So we can say between day 1 and day 6. This is correct. Draw an X on the figure, and whenever you are asked for putting some sign on the figure, you should put it on the figure. You should make it clear. He did ask for an X, so you cannot draw a Y or Z. When ovulation occurs, you know that ovulation occurs in the day 14 of this day. So on day 14, I will copy an X right here. Ovulation usually occurs on the 14th day. B. The menstrual cycle is controlled by a hormone. Okay. What is a hormone? Complete the sentence to define the term hormone. Hormone is a chemical, a protein, a chemical substance produced by a gland. A gland. Very good. And it's carried by the bloodstream in the plasma, which alters the activity one more specific target organs. Adrenaline is a hormone involved in fight or flight situation. Describe 2 effects of the adrenaline on your body or on your body organs. It does increase the rate of breathing. Increases first the heartbeats. Very good. What else? It does increase the breathing rate. Very Very good. Widens the eye pupil. Very good. Very good. It does also increase the blood sugar level. This is more than a full answer. Very good. State the name and the organ that produced adrenaline. Adrenaline comes from adrenal gland, and the translation, Latin language, is the gland which exists next to the kidney. Thank you for watching this. We will proceed to question 5 shortly. Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back. We are doing now question 5a. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration both release energy, both give energy. Describe the other similarities rather than both give energy, and difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration in muscles. We need to mention how they are alike, how they are different. So you can say right here, I will mention the way they are alike. You can say, for example, I will start every sentence with both. Both use glucose. What else? What other facts they do share? Both, in addition to both release energy, both care in cells, because this is respiration. Okay, very good. Now we talk about how they are different. Okay, I will write some sentence here that start with one of them, and when I end the sentence I write while. So you can say that aerobic respiration uses oxygen, while anaerobic doesn't. Very good. Aerobic respiration produces more energy than anaerobic. What do both of them produce? Aerobic respiration produces carbon dioxide, while anaerobic one produces lactic acid. Now you may remember that anaerobic respiration produces carbon dioxide as well in microorganisms, but don't forget that the question is about a particular part, which is the muscles. In the muscles, no carbon dioxide, there is lactic acid. Pay attention. Anyways, when we go to the next part, which is place a tick in the boxes to show 2 uses, just 2, of the energy released by respiration in humans. And the question is granted 2 marks, so it doesn't make a sense that you take 3 of them or just 1 of them. And again, Shabab, if you take 1 correct, you take 1 mark. If you take 1 correct and 1 wrong, you may lose the mark. Or he may ignore it, it's up to the examiner. Active transport, yes, this is correct. Okay. What else? Protein synthesis as well. So I have 2 uses of energy in the body. Next part. Anaerobic respiration in yeast produces alcohol. The boxes on the right show some sentence endings. Draw a line from the word alcohol to make 3 correct sentences. For example, I'll read the choices, all of them. Abuse decrease instance of crime, can be addictive, causes lung cancer, increases the level of self-control, increase the reaction time, is depressant. I know some facts about alcohol. I know that it is depressant. I know that it does increase the reaction time, means your reaction will take longer time if you are addicted or manipulated some alcohols. Could be addictive, this is for sure. So I did make 3 choices and they are correct. State the name of the organ damaged by the long-term alcohol abuse. Long-term of alcohol abuse may damage the liver, is a good answer. The brain is a good answer as well. This is the end of question 5. Thank you for following, and shortly we will continue. Welcome back, and we are doing question 6 right now, part A, first part in A. State the name of 3 structures that are found in the mammalian part. There are many structures that you can talk about. For example, you can say right atrium, you can say left ventricle, you can say septum, you can talk about the valves, you can talk about the blood vessels attached to the heart, many of them. Describe how the structure of the vein different from structure of an artery. He didn't ask for explanation or adaptation, just a description. So you can say that the vein has a larger lumen than the artery. For those who don't know, the lumen is the cavity at the center of the blood vessel. Okay. The vein has valves while the arteries have only one valve. Okay? At the very beginning or start, at the very start inside the heart. So only inside the heart you can say a valve at the beginning of the artery, but along the artery you cannot find any of them. What else? You can say that the vein has a thinner elastic layer than the artery. Very good. State the function of arteries in the human circulatory system. Arteries carry blood out of the heart. Or simply you can say from the heart to body organs. Again, it carries blood away from the heart, away from the heart, or you can say from the heart to the body organs. Both are correct. Now we come to part B. Figure 6.1 is photomicrograph of blood, means a real picture under the microscope. Label one red blood cell on the figure 6.1 with a label line and the letter X. Again, a red blood cell. So I can use this tool and I can label this X. This is a correct answer. State the name one other type blood cells in the figure 6.1. I can see here a phagocyte. So a phagocyte could be a proper answer. So I will write here phagocyte. Okay. State the names of two other components of the blood. You can say plasma, and you can say platelets. Two other components of the blood. He didn't mention if they are supposed to be from the diagram or not, so you can give any responses. Should be correct ones. Coronary heart disease, CHD, is a disease of the circulatory system. State 3 risk factors for developing CHD. Obesity is a good reason. Smoking is one good reason or sign that you may be vulnerable to be infected with the CHD. You can say stress, you can say high blood pressure, you can say lack of exercise, those who are desk work and they don't take any kind of exercise. State the name of the blood vessel that becomes blocked in CHD. Many blood vessels in the body, even in the leg, could be blocked, but the one in CHD, this is the coronary artery. This is the end of question number 6. Thank you for watching, and we will resume in 1 minute. Hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. We are back and we are doing question 7. Figure 7.1 is a photograph of a large-scale monoculture soybeans which are crop plants. You can imagine that this area was covered with the trees. Those trees were eliminated in order to use this area to plant one crop. And the question is, describe the disadvantage large-scale monoculture, which is what I have just explained. There would be a lack of biodiversity. As you know that there would be no wild species. So you can say, or no wild species. Those wild species will be removed, eliminated. Why? Because I want to plant my crop. There would be extinction, okay, of some species. Those who will lose their habitat, they will extinct or just move to other place. There would be loss of habitat for those animals who were living between the trees, on the trees. Very good. There would be deforestation. Deforestation. You can say that there would be much use of herbicides. There would be much use of pesticides. There would be much use of fungicides. So you can say, and fungicides are used. They will be harmful for harmful plants for fungi and pests, but they will be harmful as well for other useful animals that I need in the soil. Some particular minerals which this plant soybean need will be depleted. When I did say that there would be deforestation, I can say, and consequently flooding. Okay, how come? And drought are good examples. Flooding means when the rain fall heavily. You can say that there are not any kind of trees to hold the speed of or to stop the currents of water. Drought as well, because there would be less water evaporation as we did lose the trees. Next page. Some crop plants have been selectively bred to be drought resistant. I did transfer the gene of being drought resistant to them from a wild plant. The sentence show Stage in the process of selective breeding. They are not in the correct order. I am supposed to put them in the proper order. A farmer identifies crop plants that survive in drought conditions. Offspring that survive drought conditions are selected and bred again. The drought-resistant plants are bred together and seed collected. The farmer repeats the process over many generations. The seeds are germinated and grown in drought conditions. Write the sentence numbers in the boxes to show the correct order of the stage in selective breeding. I give you 1 minute to think about it. Read it well. I will need to write the proper number next to every sentence, and then I do write them here on the box. I feel like the first sentence is making a sense. So properly, this is the first. So after a farmer identifies the crop plant that survived drought condition, the drought-resistant plant are bred together and seed will be collected. So this one is the second. Very good. After collecting the seeds are to be germinated. So this is the third step. Very good. After germinating them, the offspring that survive drought conditions, not the ones who die, be selected and bred again. This is the fourth. And the last would be that the farmer repeats what he did from step 1 to 4 over and over again. This makes the order as 1, then 3, 5, 2, and 4 is the last. Very good. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully you are safe, and we will proceed shortly to next question. Hello, assalamu alaikum, and welcome back everyone. We are doing now question 8, part A. The government of a country introduced the law called the Endangered Species Act. It was hoped that the act would help to conserve species that were at risk from extinction. The table 8.1 shows the number of birds from different species before and after the act was introduced. The table shows me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 species, the number before the act of the law and the number after the act of the law, and I think that it's very clear number after the act of the law is higher than it before. State which species was the most at risk from extinction. Being the most at risk means that this is the fewest number, so you need to look at the fewest number here before the act, 54, so it's supposed to be whooping cranes. So the species we need to talk about is whooping cranes. Very good. Calculate the percentage increase. I didn't ask for increase. I did ask for percentage of increase. Okay? This will be done on 2 steps. That's why it's granted 3 mark. Okay? Anyways, and the number of Kirtlands, warblers, give your answer to the nearest whole number. You need to follow those instructions. So I will first calculate the increase in number, and I say that equal to species again. Kirtlands mean the second. It will be after the law 14, 15 minus how much? 210 and equal. You can do the math with me. I will use my calculator. Can't do this mentally. Again, we have 14, 15 minus 210 equal 1,205. This is the first step. This is the first step. Now we need to calculate the percentage of increase, which equals this 12 or 1205, okay, should be divided by the original number I did start with. How much was the original number? I did start with 210, and I do then multiply by 100, okay, equal. Again, I will use my calculator again. So this is divided, or 1205, let's say divided 210 equal 5.738. I should multiply by 100 to calculate the percentage, equal 573.8, which is 574 in order to be to the nearest whole number. Again, I need to write the answer here for the place or the area specified for the answer, which is 574, and this is full answer. List 3 reasons why species become endangered. There are many reasons. One of them is hunting, or you can say overhunting, up to you. One good reason is disease, okay. One good reason is introducing a new organism to the environment. Very good. Describe one method of conserving endangered plant species. How to conserve the endangered species. One good way is the seed banking, which is putting seeds, and preserving seeds of endangered plants in banks, special kind of banks, just like blood banks, for example. Okay, very good. So now we are done with question 8. Thank you for watching this, and we will proceed shortly. My dear students, welcome back, and we are doing now question 9, which is the last question. Sewage contains water and other substance. Sewage should be treated before it goes into a river. Describe 2 reasons why sewage should be treated before it goes into a river. You can picture the steps of sewage treatment, and you can come up with many answers. For example, we need to get rid of the microorganisms you do have in the sewage. So you can say to kill microorganisms. Some of them do cause disease. How to kill them? We use chlorine, for example. It's a good method. One more reason, we need to get rid of some toxin wastes, like nitrate pollution, which may harm species in the river, may cause me eutrophication. So get rid of nitrate pollution. Treatment of sewage has several stages. One of the stages is filtration. State the name of one other stage in the treatment of sewage. Let's say that you remember the last one, which is chlorination. Would be a good example. Chlorination. Next part, C. The figure 9.1 shows trickling filter in sewage treatment plant. Plant mean a company or a corporate. The untreated sewage trickle through gravel. There are organisms on the surface of the gravel. State the name of or the type of the organisms on the surface of the gravel. They are micro. Describe the function of these organisms. They are to decompose or to break down the sewage. They are to decompose, between brackets, break down the sewage. It was the end of our today's lesson. Hopefully it was useful for you. Stay home, stay safe. When I receive your comments on this video, we can decide if we can continue as live or as recorded video for the rest of the first paper. You can send me some kind of recommendations or special questions to be done. It's okay that we discuss them. Hopefully this is useful for you. God bless. See you. Bye-bye. Stay safe.